Welcome back to the AI News Podcast, the show that cuts through the noise and gets to the core of what's happening in artificial intelligence. I'm your host, Ben.
And I'm Claire. And Ben, I have to say, our topic today is one that I think everyone needs to hear, because these terms get thrown around like confetti at a tech conference.
They really do. I mean, you see a new smart toaster and the box screams, "Powered by AI," and you just know. We need to have a conversation. We're talking, of course, about AI versus machine learning versus deep learning.
The big three. It's so easy to get them mixed up or just lump them all together. But you know, they're not the same thing at all. It's actually more like one of those Russian nesting dolls.
That is the perfect analogy, Claire. Let's do it. Let's unpack the dolls. So, the biggest outermost doll? That's artificial intelligence, or AI. This is the big granddaddy concept.
The one we all know from the movies, right? Like C-3PO or the computer from Star Trek. It's the whole broad idea of creating machines that can think, reason, and learn like a human. That's the ultimate dream of the entire field.
Exactly. But what we have today isn't that. It's what experts call narrow AI. Your smart assistant, the navigation app on your phone, the algorithm that recommends what you should watch next. They are incredibly intelligent, but only at one specific task. My Alexa can't, suddenly decide to write a symphony.
Not yet, anyway. Okay, so if AI is the big doll, what happens when we open it up?
We find the next doll, machine learning, or ML, and this is where things get really interesting. Machine learning is a way to achieve AI. Instead of programming a computer with a giant set of rules for every possible situation, you just show it a ton of data and let it figure out the patterns for itself.
Okay, I love this distinction. It's like, instead of giving a kid a detailed textbook on how to identify spam email, look for these specific words, check for this type of link. You just show them 10,000 spam emails and 10,000 normal emails and say, you figure it out.
That's it. The machine learns what spam feels like. It builds its own intuition from the data. It's a complete game changer from old-school programming. But it's not the end of the story. There's one more doll inside, right?
There is. The smallest, most powerful, and honestly, the doll that's responsible for almost all the crazy headlines we see today. And that is deep learning.
This is the one that's really pushing the boundaries. So, Claire, how is deep learning different from regular machine learning?
Okay, so deep learning is a type of machine learning, but it's on steroids. It uses something called a neural network, which is loosely inspired by the human brain. The deep part just means these networks have many, many layers, and this structure allows them to learn in a much more sophisticated way.
So, let's take an example. How would regular ML and deep learning tackle the same problem, say, identifying a cat in a photo?
Great question. With a traditional machine learning model, a data scientist might have to do a lot of upfront work. They'd have to tell the model what features to look for. Pay attention to pointy ears, whiskers, the shape of the eyes. It's called feature engineering, and it's a ton of work.
Right. You have to give it hints.
Exactly. But with deep learning, you just throw millions of cat photos at it. The first layers of the neural network might learn to recognize simple things, like edges and colors. The next layers combine those to find corners and shapes. Deeper layers might recognize eyes or noses. And the final layers put it all together and say, okay, the combination of all these features I've learned, that's a cat. It figures out the important features all on its own.
And that is why it's so powerful. It's the engine behind facial recognition on your phone, self-driving cars that can identify pedestrians, and these incredible text-to-image generators. They're all powered by these deep neural networks.
So this begs a question, Ben. If deep learning is so amazing, why would anyone even bother with regular machine learning anymore? Why not just use the superpowered tool for everything?
You don't always need a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Deep learning requires absolutely massive amounts of data and incredible amounts of computing power. I mean, we're talking server farms that cost millions of dollars to run.
And sometimes it's just overkill. If you're just trying to predict, say, next quarter's sales based on a nice, clean spreadsheet of past sales, a simpler machine learning model is perfect. It's faster, cheaper, and often much easier to understand why it made a certain prediction.
That's the other thing, the black box problem. Deep learning models can be so complex that even the people who build them don't always know precisely how they arrive at a specific answer. The logic is hidden in millions of mathematical calculations.
Right. So, zooming out, it seems the big takeaway is that these terms aren't just marketing buzzwords. Understanding the difference, from the broad dream of AI to the data-driven approach of ML to the brain-inspired power of DL, helps you cut through the hype.
It really does. It helps you understand that we're in an era defined by a very specific type of technology, deep learning, that is a subset of a subset. It's not magic, it's layers of incredible innovation.
That's all for today's deep dive. What do you think we should talk about next? Let us know in the comments below.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more great content, guys. Thanks for listening.